Hey everybody, me and Bear Belly like to say hello and start our next session or whatever on why me. So I'm at college. I keep running into Booker and Sicky. I've pretty much got my roommate under control now. College is going okay. I've never been one that pushes for grades. I really don't give a shit about them. But I have established myself as the top student as far as knowledge goes. Now, I may not be getting the highest grades, but everybody comes to me when they're looking for help. In fact, I was even assigned the job of teaching another guy who was having troubles. I didn't have problems with correcting the teachers. I didn't mind showing them how to read the blueprints. That made it interesting for me. But that was such a small part of what I was doing. I was taking math classes and knowing that I was behind on that and realizing that third semester was going to be a big one because I was going to have to take 21 credits. So things were going to be rough. I was going to end up being tutored over the summer to help me be prepared to double up on my math classes. The teachers seemed to respect me. I had this pretty cool, well, all my teachers were good. This guy, I don't know how good he was, but he kind of just let me do my thing. And the first paper I wrote for him was my feelings about the world. And believe me, they weren't good. I wanted to tell everybody to F themselves. And I had plans on becoming a super race car driver, designer, builder. And this is a joke, this part of it. But I was going to have an all-girl pit crew that wore flame-proof nylons. So and once I became famous, I was going to tell everybody to go fuck themselves. So you could see that I had a good attitude about life. A lot of that came from the experience with the girlfriend and some other things that have happened which I didn't put in there just because I didn't have time, plus the way my family, as far as I was concerned, didn't take care of me. So I keep running into these guys at parties, and I was at this one, and for some reason this one girl seemed to take a liking to me. I can't remember her name. And something happened along the way that night because I wasn't really too serious. I didn't really think much of it. And she left there in a storm, and when I went outside, it had been raining. She accidentally slipped and fell in this mud puddle. Now, I didn't, from what I can remember, I don't even remember saying 2 words to her. I just walked on by. That's how much of an asshole I was. She apparently got with my roommate and his girlfriend and ended up showing up at our room. I slid over in my bed to give her a place to sit down, and she took her clothes off and crawled in under my sheets, you know. So I just did what came natural after that, and then rolled over and went to sleep. Afterwards, of course, I had been drinking. I was drunk, you know, and I left earlier because I, you know, didn't like going to the class hungover. And I was thinking about it, and I thought, boy, you're a real asshole. So I thought, well, the next time I see her, which I had no idea how to get a hold of her. But anyway, I ran into her at another party a week or two later, I don't know. So anyway, in this apartment building, this was called the Berkshire, and as far as I know, all the apartments were rented out to students, and they would have like 6, 8 students to an apartment. And they had one whole room, and they would have bunks in there. So, you know, double bunks. If you wanted to bang a chick, you just went in there. They just left the lights off. You found a bed that was open, and you used it. Well, she was there, and so I took her in there, and I made sure I satisfied her. So if you ever talking to a pagan, they'll tell you you got to eat it till it's sweet. Well, I made sure of that, and she was climbing the walls. And anyway, so I felt like I redeemed myself. You know, I'm a good guy now. Never saw her again. Probably got her pregnant. That's what sometimes I think. I hope not. I hope I wasn't that unlucky or that big a pig. So that was one of my experiences. I then ran into sort of having the same experience at home as I am up there. No, not the same, but it turned out the same. This girl was kind of chasing me up at Williamsport, up at college, and she was wacky. She was on and off, and so I just told her, I said, you keep playing this game, I said, I'm done, you know, so do it one more time, and we're over. I said, I'm not interested in this. Well, she did one more time, and I just, from then on, just ignored her. And then she started stalking me. Now, back then, nobody made a big deal of it, you know. And she finally went away completely. At home, I had this girl that, and these were not exactly the same time. It's just because I didn't really hold to the idea of, you know, playing the field. So anyway, I had this girl that was, I guess she was 15. She just knew how to push my buttons. I mean, she just turned me on like nobody's business. And we would go parking. I'd pick her up at the skating rink. We'd go parking, and then she'd get me so hot, and then she'd tell me no. And I finally told her, I said, you know, well, Beth, if you do this one more time, I said, I can't deal with it, you know. I said, just don't get me excited like this if you don't want it. And she, I guess, just liked doing it. And so anyway, she got me wound up another night, and I took her back to the skating rink. I said, we're done, Beth. I said, I can't keep doing this. Very next boyfriend she had, she was pregnant. So I don't know whether I dodged a bullet or, you know, should be thankful. I'm not sure. But she really just was what I liked. You know, that's all there was to it. So I'll finish up with this one. This is one where it's like you do it once and you're never going to do it again. Here again, a keg party. This was in a small apartment on the 3rd floor of this house. You had to go up flights of wooden stairs on the outside of the house to get to it. It was a pretty cool apartment. The keg was iced up in the bathtub, and you know, people were drinking on it, and and the girl that owned the place, or I mean rented it, and her boyfriend, she was a chubby girl, more on the fat side really, and he was like a little skinny rail. It was like the strangest pair watching them walking down the road or down the sidewalk. So anyway, everybody heads off to the dance. This is the typical Wednesday night, you know, band playing at the college, and I put my $5 in on the thing, so I had no money to be able to go. So I just, you know, sat there and everybody left. And I mean everybody. I'm just there by myself. So I'm, you know, drinking away on this keg all by myself. And I'd venture to say, and this was a half keg, I would venture to say I drank half of that half keg. That's a lot of damn beer. But back then I could, for whatever reason, seem to be able to handle it. So anyway, everybody comes back, and it doesn't take long, that thing's kicked. So everybody leaves, you know, and I was worried everybody'd be pissed off, but it didn't seem to bother anybody, and they were gone. Now I'm just kind of in a stupor. I'm figuring I got to get my ass up. I might point out that it's February, sometime like that, and the snow is so deep on the roads because they just pack it down and put cinders on it, and you just drive on top of it, that you can't, there are no sidewalks or road. It's just all one big sheet all the way across. No curbs left or anything, although the curbs are rather vague anyway because they just kept putting blacktop on top and never cutting it back down. So anyway, it's nice and icy and cold out there. And this fat girl is standing there and said to me, did you ever see our skylight, you know? And now her boyfriend's not there. I don't know where he was. I don't know if he's on a business trip or what. You know, so anyway, they had the beads hanging over the doorway and all that crap, and I go into the bedroom with her and look up, and they have this leaded glass skylight. I mean, this thing is cool as shit. Really nice. You know, it's a really nice feature. Obviously an expensive house, you know, that's been converted into apartments or whatever. So anyway, she starts messing with me, and at that age, you know, it didn't take much for me to get horny, so we ended up doing it. And I mean, literally, just as I came, it was like the light came on my head going, what the hell are you doing? Because for whatever reason, and I get, this is not easy to say, I'm grossed out by fat. And as soon as I came, I had to leave. I mean, fast. I got my pants on. I got my shirt on but not buttoned. I grabbed my shoes and socks, and I ran out of that place. Down them steps, and out onto the sidewalk, which was, like I said, covered with snow, and I just had about 4 or 5 blocks I had to run to get to my apartment. I mean, to my dorm. In a couple days after that, I was in a sub shop somewhere, and there she was, and I thought, oh man, she's probably mad at me for running out on her, and here she's telling a girl, I could hear her saying how good I was in bed. Man, it's unusual for me to have, to have heard something like that, and for her to be so casual about it. Apparently, it didn't worry her that her boyfriend was going to find out about it. They must have had that kind of a relationship. You do have to realize this is the mid-70s, so, we're still into the hippies and all that kind of crap. And so there's another time is why me. Not proud of it, but it's all part of the experience that I've had. I guess the next one we'll discuss Sicky and Booker a little bit more and how they got into my life. Oh yeah, and hopefully I'll remember about the world's oldest hippie. I thought he was old anyway at the time, and he definitely looked like he'd been not only not only died but run over a few times. This guy was a piece of work. So anyway, talk to you next time.